Hokma and his religious team had to deal with Angela, wielding something from what they said was the most powerful abnormality they'd encountered. Worse than the apocalypse bird? I didn't believe them at first. The apostles were the minions of the White Knight, as this one was called. Apparently, it was captured after it was dealt with. From what I heard, it wiped out a wing that was tapping into hell. Now, that might be hard to believe to some people, but based on what I've seen so far, it wasn't out of the ordinary. I mean, we've got twisted takes on fairy tales. We've even got anime come to life. So, a powerful abnormality that wiped out a wing that tapped into hell? Not as unbelievable as you think. Besides, after that wing was destroyed, it was in the form of one of those medieval plague doctors. You know, the kind that were around Europe at the time. Looked like one of those apothecaries. That was much weaker. Well, the apostles weren't making it easy for the religion team. And they weren't, well, turned out that they were quite durable and needed a specific damage type. In this case, attacks that slash in order to, well, do anything to them. Well, that's convenient. Well, that's because we've got someone who was capable of that. Yeah, probably wondering where the others, Price of Silence, Blue Star, and the Burning Heaven were. Well, I suspected that this one was powerful enough without them. And I can't really blame him. especially as in the background. I assumed that was the White Knight itself. Yeah, Angela was just wielding the EGO of the Plague Doctor. Which didn't really do much of anything. Yeah, not really making much progress. Until this point in the battle. Yeah, Hokma was wielding the distorted yen. Well, utilizing his abilities. Well, it has some uses, along with wielding that which Hana Association had. Yeah. Honorio was not in good shape. The others were in better shape, but they needed to cause some damage. And apparently how this worked. "12 will be blessed." And then the White Knight would appear. The 13th toll would benefit Hokma. As for the others, they did what they could. With every apostle defeated, the EGO that Angela was using changed. Although how that would change was unclear at this point, but one thing was certain. This was different to how it happened last time. As the EGO didn't change with the well, amount of blessings. I mean, it was said to be the most powerful in the facility. It took a lot to suppress that, and even then, not without casualties. Apparently the one in charge of the facility he ain't that good. All we could do is minimize the casualties. Then again, it would have resulted in 12 of them dying anyway. And you're probably asking, what'll happen if this fourth apostle is defeated? Well, let's get to that. Yeah, there was no need to put in that much effort. Largely because it didn't seem worth it to just go all out, especially as it wasn't clear what Hokma and the others needed to do next. Although that would soon become clear. Yeah, Angela called for reinforcements, and things started to become lighter. I don't know what those threads binding White Knight are, but I doubt they're anything that any workshop could make. Oh yeah, I just remembered what Hana Association were using. Atelier Tech. Yeah, the same workshop that brought us those guns and bullets. Well, the bullets anyway, that will stop us. Well, it would be one of the few workshops that would even bother using. Well, putting together that. For any fixer when to use it. Not that guns would be useful against the blue reverberation. Because doing that, I mean, if it didn't work with a full stop office, and if it didn't work during his visit to the library, why would it work any other time? Well, I'll tell you this. If he does show up, one thing I wouldn't do is use some kind of range kit. Yeah, Distorted Blade, one of the most useful things to use against. Crowds. Then Hokma heard an well, they all heard a nostalgic sound. And Angela was getting closer to me. Whatever it was, she was getting close to. Well, the blessing was clearly a disguise. And it wasn't something nice. It wasn't something that would be appreciated. There's that kind of bargain. It has strings attached. I would not recommend doing that. But then again, Angela didn't give those that she blessed much of a choice. progress is made as more apostles went down. Things grew even brighter, and Angela became more favorable. Yeah, the religion team, they had their work cut out. But not all of them were the kind that would cut. Yeah, it's all about making the most of what's there. Yeah, even though the destroyed blade could be used again, there wasn't enough light. Sorry, there wasn't enough light to use it. What would happen after this third week of apostles? Hokma and his team and they knew it was nothing good. I didn't need to know a lot to know that someone was about to get. And it wasn't the apostles. For a start. They were already there. That, and I knew that when all of the apostles were killed, Well, take a guess of what would happen. Well, the worst that could happen is just that. Worse. I mean, have you been following by now? I mean, following through with this? It's not exactly bright around here. Unlike the surroundings. When fighting what they were fighting here. Yeah, that disposal move. Under normal circumstances, that'd be something useful, but here, not so much, apparently. And with 12 dead, Angela wielded the White Knight Ichu, and the White Knight was freed. Two of the Librarians expected to die. So they decided if I'm gonna die fighting. I can't say I blame them. And not just because Hokma had, well, he'll lose some of his combat potential. Well, his team's combat potential, rather. Yeah. A move that is as powerful as the emotional level, but costs all of the lights that he could possibly carry with him. Apparently, Celeste wanted to go all out on Angela while she was still able to do so. As for the others, they were more likely to focus on the apostles, as there was likely to be more of them coming. It was going to be an uphill struggle, but since when were these floor realizations easy? Yeah, those librarians were turned into 2 more apostles. At this point, it was a good idea to take more drastic measures. Well, one thing was clear. Angela was protected, so she wouldn't be easily damaged. Apparently, the White Knight EGO was like what it was extracted from. The most powerful that was available. I mean, even me wielding the power of the Jester of Nihil, in terms of raw destruction, has got nothing on this. Yeah, Hokma understood that the apostles needed to go. Because as long as the apostles were around, what was left of the religion team would split it between them too thinly. And that was not something that would guarantee a favorable outcome. And one way of dealing with that, well, involves taking them down, of course. Also, Angela wanted to express some displeasure in the form of something with a little consistency. Yeah. One thing you can count on most of the time with Angela is that she's reliable. Yeah, she didn't hit hard at this point. That's what the apostles are for. Yeah, not just using the EGU, but also calling on White Knight itself to cause problems. Well, at least the apostles wouldn't cause problems. At least as long as they're incapacitated. Well, most of them were anyway. Sooner or later, those wings would need to be clipped. Yeah, Angela was quite defensive at this point. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Hokma believed that she was holding back. Well, considering that he helped make her. I had no reason not to believe him. Yeah, Angela was painfully slow. Waiting for the others to commit themselves. Unfortunately, there was a slight staggering effect. Caused by White Knight. Thankfully, it wasn't at a bad time. such as when Angela was unleashing divine wrath. Yeah. Honorio snapped out of it before then. It was a good time to unleash everything they had against her. It wouldn't take her down all the way. But it certainly caused some damage. Especially with the bell command motivated. Well, defeating the apostles had enough of an effect to allow him to hit hard. And then one of the apostles healed up. Well, the religion team couldn't do that. I mean, couldn't allow that. So while some focused on the apostle, others took on Angela in her weakened state. Yeah, best to take her out while she's not in a position to fight back. I mean, if we were incapacitated, she would not just let us get over it. It turned out she was holding back. And at that point, she not only incapacitated Hokma, but she killed the other two as well and turned them into apostles, leaving Hokma alone. Although thankfully, his faith protected him. Which meant that what Angela was, well, it didn't do anything to him. And thankfully there was an abnormality called 1 sin, 100 good deeds. That was his only hope. And he sure will take it. It'll give him the strength to wipe out all of them at once, before they even had a chance to react. victory was Hokma's. And Angela was cut off. The power of the White Knight and one sin and 100 good deeds was available to the floor of religion. As for what happened after Angela was herself once more,
난 당신이 원망스러워, 벤자민.
알아. 그리고 모르지. 우리의 마음과 이해가 완벽히 일치할 수 있을까? 선생님과 나, 그리고 모두 그렇기에 실패한 거겠지.
난 그런 너희의 계획을 망쳤는데 왜 순순히 곁에 있어주는 거야?
각자의 믿음과 각자의 해석이 과연 어떻게 겹칠 수 있었을까? 세피라들이 저마다의 기억을 찾았음에도 널 돕는 건
동정이라도 되는 거야?
그렇게 부를 수도 있겠지. 내 생각으로 좀 더 그럴싸하게 말하자면 저마다의 이유로 널 이해하는 거로 생각해. 빗속에서 네가 겪은 아픔을 우리도 어렴풋이 느꼈으니까.
웃기지도 않아. 멋지게 포장했지만 결국 동정이란 거네.
엔젤라, 난 동정과 사랑이 별반 다름없다고 생각한다. 동정도 결국 그 사람이 처한 상황을 이해하려 하고 조금이라도 더 나은 삶을 살게 하고 싶어서 도움을 베푸는 것과 같은데, 어떻게 이를 사랑이라고 부르지 않을 수가 있겠나? 사랑을 동정이라고 부를 수 있고 동시에 동정을 사랑이라 부를 수 있겠지. 그리고 그건 엔젤라, 너 역시 마찬가지 아닌가? 그 끝에서 굴레 속에 있는 모두에게 자유를 주려고 했으니.
너희가 죽을 만큼 부럽고 믿긴 해도 나처럼 이용당한 처지니까 겸사겸사야.
역시 누구보다 솔직하지 못하군.
어쨌든 고마워.
there was nothing left to deal with, except the red invitations. So it was decided that it should Well, we should get on with that. Finish what was started. Whoever started it in the first place.